All right, kids, it's been 1 year since Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. And as of me writing this, there is a murder case against Tyler Robinson, the person accused of pulling the trigger. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty against Robinson, who faces aggravated murder and other charges in connection with the death of Kirk in September of 2025. Now, I'm not here to get into the implications of that trial. The jury's still out on a claim frequently made in and after Charlie's wake.
It's a message that says, yes, Charlie's gone. He's been taken from us far too young. But they just created 1 million, 10 million, 100 million more Charlie Kirks. They haven't seen anything yet.
1 million more Charlie Kirks. 12 million even. We are Charlie Kirk. Look in the mirror. Where does your eyes sit in relation to your forehead? Today we're going to talk about part of his legacy, one that we're told would continue to expand long after he left us. Well, recently, Politico reported that GOP members of Congress can't find smart young conservatives to work for them. One senior GOP congressional staffer said, "Everyone knows what the problem is. The organizations that bring young staffers to Washington, D.C. have spent the last decade prioritizing blind ideological loyalty instead of competence or intelligence. We have a generation of rabid, incompetent idiots." Well, let's check in and see how they're doing.
What is your least favorite race?
My least favorite race?
Yes.
The Indy 500. It's very boring to watch.
The Indians.
That's not what I said.
What did you say?
I said the Indy 500.
What is that?
Oh.
Do you want to have a debate real quick?
Brother, I don't want to have a debate with nobody whose eyes and nose are not on the same facial plane. My brother, you look sunken. My brother, you look like your nose was put on this morning.
Yeah, but would you like to have
My brother, you look like your eyes is still trying to come out of your head.
They really want to debate. I guess they're putting the stuff that they rehearse in the mirrors that they don't look into to good use.
It looked like you gotta enter a room just to see. It looked like when you turn a corner, your nose turned the corner first.
Stop having a low.
It looked like your lips is still trying to grow with the rest of your nose and face.
Control,
it looked like you can't. I can't tell whether your eyes are open or not because they so sunk to your head.
Even have a conversation.
It looked like, see, that brother got a cartoon mouth.
Having a conversation also means so much to them. It's how this guy tries to prove that he's superior.
What would you rather be, a hillbilly or a nigger?
I'd rather not be a fat, funky-looking motherfucker how you look. That's the one thing I for sure would rather be.
Let me see
with
what
that
you
spotty-ass beard, your motherfucking beard, you look like you got a disease, like you losing your hair. You need to go check your liver.
They're nothing without the N-word.
You look unwell. You look unhoused. Do you have a home? Do you need some money? Should I start a GoFundMe? You look horrific. Your eyes, you sad in the eyes. You look like you got some shit, unresolved shit going on. You look like you're not happy with where you at in life. You need to mend that relationship with your mother.
Make them regret using racism on social media to get out of the loneliness epidemic. The goal should be to force them to log off. Roast them. Honestly, that's what we should have done to Charlie Kirk. So, Joshua Doss first put those two clips together when pointing out how the average white boy doesn't have a deep bag of jokes. There's racial slurs and that's it. They're nothing without trying to get black people's attention, like Post Malone. He's coming back to rap after coming down with a bad case of blue dot fever. You know what?
So usually this is the part where I give people warnings. Okay. I don't want to have to be the bad guy. Okay, why don't we just apologize and say sorry? How about that?
For what? For you being a dumbass? You're goofy as f***. My
See?
Is that what your wife said when she left you? Why'd she leave?
I never said she left.
She left you. Eyes never lie, buddy. Okay? That chick ditched you. And she's not coming back, by the way. Especially after she sees this.
Oh, shit. She wanted something better. Someone superior.
This guy that your ex-wife cheated on you and left you for, did he just so happen to be ethnic? Like, okay, now it's making sense. Oh my God.
That's getting personal, don't you think?
Personal? I warned you!
Admittedly, who and what I've shown you so far may not be Charlie Kirk's disciples. After all, That Politico article I mentioned a few minutes ago talked about Groypers and Nick Fuentes, party veterans being concerned that the pipeline of young Republican talent is veering off course and into terminally online extremism, and how this criticism is aimed at institutions like the Heritage Foundation. However, that may speak to a lack of Kirk's influence on the culture after his death moving forward. Not everybody can go into a debate or a discussion or discourse armed with bad faith arguments, excellent agenda setting, precise pivoting when you don't want to acknowledge a good point, a never waver style, doubling down when dunked on, no defense, all offense, logical fallacy laden lies like him. With that said, again, ridicule them. All 10 million of them, whatever they're up to these days, 1 year AD, to get rid of the whole establishment, or at least to establish yourself. I don't know.
And he says, if you pardon the language, you're full of What do you say to that?
At least I don't let mine go in the middle of the Oval Office.
Let's get started with Charlie Kirk's replacement at Turning Point USA, his wife, Erica Kirk. We learned a lot about Erica in no time, including how she was named Miss Arizona USA in 2011, and in 2019, she appeared on season 3 of Summer House on Bravo, which was recorded around the same time she met and began dating Charlie. Erica was named CEO of TPUSA shortly after his death, and it didn't take long to figure out that, like her late husband, she often doesn't actually believe what she says. And their recommendations and suggestions are like bubble tape. It's for you, not them.
I can't spend half of the day doing one thing. I missed out half of that time with being with the kids. So like you have to choose where your heart has to be fully with the home.
I didn't want to include homie's wife in this, but somewhere her ex-roommate posted the "why you say F me for" meme not too long ago because Erica included her. Erica claimed she never dated during the 5 years she lived in New York before meeting Charlie. Quote, "I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. I always thought it was strange how she would go for drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another." You
were proposed to by Charlie in 2020. You started dating him in 2018. And 3 years before that, you were dating this guy, Tyler Massey. I mean, you guys would do couples photo shoots. This is still online. And this is only 3 years before you started dating Charlie.
He's in heaven.
Yeah, and 2 years later, you were dating this guy, Cabot Phillips, and here he is posting you guys on his public page saying, yes, we're that couple who gets painting lessons together. Again, this is a year before you started dating Charlie, and well within the 5-year period you claim to have never dated anyone, but you were out here dissing your roommate for dating.
I'm gonna let her finish, but Erica Kirk's Instagram post from 2018 with the caption, "What she order? Fish fillet is the greatest seeking invites to the cookout of all time." I mean, she's quoting Niggas in Paris, but Watch the Throne came out in 2011, all the while wearing Fendi. And Charlie Kirk has all kinds of problems with rap music, but I guess it only concerns young black folks. Sure, people grow and develop. Anyways.
Wait, isn't Cabot Phillips your ex-boyfriend? Why is he now the speaker of Turning Point USA? Leading speeches of how to lead like Charlie. What's going on, Erica?
Stop.
He's also the senior editor for the Daily Wire, the one outlet that your husband was having active beef with at the time, connected to Netanyahu, so...
Stop.
Charlie and Erica Kirk got married when she was in her 30s. I only bring that up because she's a few years older than him, and he not only believes that women should pursue marriage and children before careers, she didn't, but women who are in their early 30s are not at their prime, nor are they as attractive in the dating pool. So, did that apply to his wife? I bet it applied to Laura Ingraham of Fox News, who asked Charlie when he was on her show, what is going on with women not wanting to prioritize family? Ingraham is in her 60s. She was formerly a speechwriter on Ronald Reagan's administration. I think she got her law degree after that. Kind of chic of her to stop learning and growing from that point. She has never been married and is a single parent of 3 children. Ingraham has adopted 3 kids. Her first child is from Guatemala and is or was a Texas A&M student. And before I continue, conservatives definitely send their kids to these woke factories, otherwise known as universities. especially the rich ones. See, RFK Jr., whose son graduated from Harvard recently, and Tucker Carlson asking Hunter Biden for a letter of recommendation to get his son, Buckley, into Georgetown. Deep Tuck, Friar Tuck, ended up going to the University of Virginia, by the way. And Charlie told Erica that he was going to date her when he was interviewing her for a job. Was it the degrees, multiple, plural, that got her the interview in the first place? And hey, does it kind of seem like Charlie Kirk was trying to prevent the next Laura Ingraham or Erica Kirk?
Like, I say college is a scam, but if you're going to find your life partner, like, that's actually a really good reason to go to college. You have a bunch of people that are single, they're at the prime of their, let's just say attractiveness.
A little girl, a freshman in high school who wants to become a political journalist, asked Charlie Kirk for advice about college. And this grown man managed to tell her to seek a husband without being called a groomer by conservative media. And would getting that MRS Mrs. degree not be a waste of money on tuition? The same way if she didn't maybe want to become a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or an engineer, like he once said. I can't think of too many more messages that are as negative to little girls than what came from this one event.
If you don't know me, my name is Alex Clark, and The Guardian recently accused me of running a psyop to turn American women thin, fertile, and conservative. I'm here to publicly say the accusations are true.
At the time, Alex Clark was neither married or had kids, and she was over the age of 30, yet Charlie Kirk invited her to speak to teenage girls. Clark was and is really big into the Make America Healthy Again movement, which, lucky for her, starting this summer, if she wanted to stay skinny, all she's got to do is eat lettuce. She should order fish fillets. And perhaps it could be said of Charlie Kirk that he stands on business. Who he is and what he says is the same behind the scenes as it is in their face. Maybe that's why he can openly, overtly measure his wife Erica and Alex Clark by a Leonardo DiCaprio meter. Too old. Or he apologizes ahead of time and tells them to play along just before someone hits the record button.
When Charlie Kirk died, there were so many people who were like, yeah, he was a hothead when he was on camera, but if you knew him in person, he was actually a really nice, gentle guy. And the thing is, I believe them, but it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Because the damage is, of course, done when he's on camera.
That's right.
Performing.
That's right.
It's a performance. Theater. This was a show and Charlie Kirk was playing the hits. He was playing a character, a white chocolate version of Rallo Goodlove from the Boondocks. Raleigh Toblerone. And I would like to believe that not only do leftists and progressives know this, but conservatives kind of know it too. Yet to them, he was a boss. So of course, Charles in Charge's contradictions, hypocrisy, and inconsistency would only hit as hard as hip hop fans finding out that Rose used to be a correctional officer. That is to say, it didn't stick to the Teflon Don. Without consequences or repercussions, Charlie Kirk could have claimed that he was out here Rick Rossing and not loving these hoes.
Then you have, was it 100 million? We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But
I mean, you can argue with the other side of the aisle if you want, or you can let them disagree with themselves. The PragerUs of the world who claimed young people are enamored with anti-racist rhetoric because they think they are fighting racist systems in America. The truth is, they are fighting America itself. Didn't realize they admitted that America itself is racist. When Representative Ilhan Omar retweeted an interview between Fox News and Donald Trump, her caption never mentioned the president's name when posting that in Somalia, they execute pedophiles, not elect them. And it was RNC research which stated that the congresswoman called to execute Trump. And these same people have the nerve to tell others that they have low T. Eric Trump uses low T as an insult. roast him.
How many children can be raped and it's fine if you're in relation to the immigration community?
If we're going to talk about children being raped, then we need to hold this pedophile president, Donald Trump, accountable, and all those that have been implicated by the Epstein files that the Department of Justice is still not leaking. They've sent AIPAC after Thomas Massey for having the temerity to hold accountable the pedophiles that are in control of our government.
Thank you. We appreciate your time very much.
A different goal could be to get the Charlie Kirks, all 1 million of them, to demand that Twitter remove tweets about them. Call them PABs and keep it moving. I got to thinking about some of this when I saw the most recent Spider-Man movie, which features, spoiler warning, Marissa Tomei briefly. Well, when she turned 60 a few years ago and decided to show a little leg, there was a tweet that said, "All the usual suspects are drooling over this fossil with literally 0 eggs in the crate." That to me is more disturbing than what they call pedophilia, because it is a sign of a dangerous biological mutation in men. This coming from a man who said women threatening sex strikes like LMAO as if you have a say. Yet, I had heard this eggs thing before.
She's nasty. She's ugly. Nobody likes her. Nobody likes her. She looks like a teenage boy. Like, dudes don't like her. Like, if you put her in front of, like, she's ugly.
That's true. Yeah. Does Taylor Swift have any eggs left?
I don't think she probably. I don't know if she had it to start with.
No. Taylor Swift is 1 year younger than Erica Kirk. So much is made about diversity of thought and exchanging in the marketplace of ideas, when really, these motherfuckers just wanted to subordinate women or use the R word and the N word without recourse. It's freedom of speech until someone says something they don't like, then it's hate speech, which Charlie Kirk recognized as protected by the First Amendment, even when too many didn't. If people say that Charlie Kirk was just a podcaster, I go, no, he started a multi-million-dollar empire, got maybe millions of teens and young adults to vote for the GOP, and had the ear of the White House. But then, when people say he was a powerhouse for the gospel, I'm like, man, he debated college kids for a living. Calm down. Of course, multiple things can be true at one time. Look, Charlie Kirk had achieved far more than I ever will in this space, and I could spend way more time judging his stances. However, if there were anything positive that speaks to Charlie's legacy, it's watching one of the men who were trying to fill his shoes.
Gen Z men have grown up hearing from feminists and the world that they're toxic, they're not good enough, asking a girl out and they say no initially, and then a week later you're like, hey, would you like to go out again? Oh, now you're stalking me, now you're a predator, now you're this, now you're that.
This past week, Hassan Piker was singing the We Are Charlie Kirk song, and them peoples made it seem like Hassan was mocking Charlie's death. Them peoples being those who mocked George Floyd's and Rob Reiner's deaths. And I was going to point out how Hassan was actually going in on that dumb song, but why? They don't believe anything they're saying. Before Charlie Kirk died, Piker was scheduled to debate him, and I recognize the importance of persuading an audience and providing education and entertainment and pushing back against narratives. As many of you watching know, I make these episodes for my children so they can be aware of how I was feeling at a certain time if they were to watch me, which they don't. So I will prepare them, you, accordingly. Give the necessary knowledge to present their positions that they will get to after getting to their comebacks.
I've been training him the past 24 hours. Please don't let me down, bro. Please don't let me down, bro. You sweet as hell.
Your mom like how it tastes.
What if they say something about like, you big?
Your girlfriend said the same.
They say, that's why you slow.
Your sister fast.
That little bitch alone! You hear me? That's what I'm talking about!
We gonna be all right.